Today I want to talk to you about the power strips by FG Express, and I want to talk about all the technologies that have been engineered into them. There are 5 of them. The first is the water-soluble adhesive. The second is the far infrared technology that is germanium based. The third is Korean red ginseng, an important nutrient. The fourth is the alpha-3 CMP marine phytoplankton that is proprietary to our company. And the last thing I'll talk about is silver. The water-soluble technology that's been designed into the power strips by FG Express is critical. The strips are designed for regular use. And the patented process that's been used to design and to make this adhesive actually allows for a skin-friendly process. Most adhesives that are in this technology, in the transdermal technology, are actually pretty caustic to the skin. So if you use them on a regular basis, you get irritation. But in the case of the power strip, you have a water-soluble technology that is gentle on the skin, is much less likely to cause things like contact dermatitis, and a big bonus is that people with skin issues will be less sensitive to this adhesive. These are all very important things to understand because they've been designed for regular use. The next technology that I want to talk about is far infrared technology that is germanium based. Incorporated into the strip, into the base of the strip itself, are particles of germanium. Germanium is a naturally occurring element, but it has very interesting optical properties. It's understood by science that the body gives off energy in a spectrum of wavelengths. What germanium is able to do is actually absorb all of those wavelengths that are coming off the body and striking the patch, and refocus it and direct it back into the body, but in the far infrared spectrum. So the question is, what does far infrared do for the body? Reported in many medical studies is that far infrared actually activates the nitric oxide pathway. The nitric oxide pathway has many beneficial effects to the body, but chief among them is that it causes dilatation of the vessels, allowing for propagation of more blood, more oxygen to every cell in the body, and then it also helps the transport of all the metabolic wastes from cells out of the body. This is a critical technology. When the far infrared energy that's reflected back into the body activates the nitric oxide pathway, blood is delivered more readily to each cell in the body. What does this do? It allows for better oxygen to get to the body. It allows for nutrition to get to each cell, but it also helps the cell's health by allowing export of all the metabolic wastes that occur as the cell goes through its process of living, of doing its job. Korean red ginseng is used in the adhesive portion of the patch. And when the skin is prepared, the Korean red ginseng actually diffuses through the skin into the body. What does it do when it reaches the body? It does many things. One of the most important things it does is it manages pain. There is good evidence in the scientific literature that calcium channels are blocked in the sensory neurons that actually conduct pain. So what it's achieved is pain mitigation. Pain is diminished. It's not felt as readily. It's actually been shown to improve memory, to improve incorporation of memory, and actually recall. So it helps the whole intellectual process. There's additional evidence in the medical literature that regular use of Korean red ginseng actually helps improve the immune system. It also helps with managing stress. It also helps with relaxation. These things work together to create an amazing effect in the body when Korean red ginseng is used on a regular basis. The medical literature also has great evidence that Korean red ginseng helps with immune response. It helps with liver function. It helps you to manage stress better. There's even evidence that regular use of Korean red ginseng helps with anti-diabetic effects. Also, there's evidence that Korean red ginseng can normalize blood pressure. And what this means is that if you have an abnormally high blood pressure, it normalizes it low. If you have an abnormally low blood pressure, it normalizes it back higher. So it has an adaptogenic effect on blood pressure. And this is an amazing statement. Another thing they discuss in the medical literature and show excellent experiments for is for sexual dysfunction, not just in men, but in women. There's evidence that women with climacteric problems actually have relief from that by taking Korean red ginseng on a regular basis. Another technology incorporated into the FG Express power strips is the alpha-3 CMP marine phytoplankton. Now this is proprietary to this company, and that's important to know. Nobody else is going to have this. So what does the alpha CMP marine phytoplankton do for us? Well, it provides one of the best single sources of nutrition that's available in one place. There's also university studies that show that by taking this proprietary technology, this proprietary marine phytoplankton, that we boost our immune system. That same university study talks about elevated mood and an increased sense of well-being. Alpha-3 CMP marine phytoplankton provides almost complete nutrition. It provides all the building blocks, all the tools that the cells require to either restore health or to maintain health. Silver is another technology that's been developed for the FG Express power strips. Now, for more than 100 years, we've understood that silver has strong antimicrobial effects. In fact, 100 years ago, when they would draw water out of a well, often a silver coin would be introduced into it. Now, the people who did that weren't sure why they were doing that. But now we understand that what was going on is that silver was having a direct effect on the bacterial count in the water. It was also protecting against protozoal infections, fungi, and also viruses. Recent studies have shown that the silver functions as an antimicrobial in a certain way. What it tends to do is attack or adhere to the membrane of a bacteria or the cell wall of a fungus, and actually inactivate or kill those species. So silver has been incorporated to provide for protection against infection. So as you see by the discussion of each of these technologies, that each one has been thoughtfully engineered to work together. But in some cases, some of these technologies actually synergize. They actually come together and create an effect that is greater than their components. For example, in far infrared technology that is germanium based, what occurs is that the nitric oxide pathway is turned on. We've talked about how that dilates vessels and it allows for the delivery of more blood, more nutrition to each of the cells. Well, that's going on. But at the same time, the patch is also delivering the alpha-3 CMP marine phytoplankton, which is, as we've said, one of the most complete sources of nutrition on Earth. Taken together, the far infrared energy opens up the vessels and allows for delivery of this amazing nutritional element, the alpha-3 CMP marine phytoplankton, to every cell. This makes every cell in the body healthier, it allows it to function better, and it allows it to maintain health. So in summary, what I'd like to do is just mention each of these elements again so that you understand it in a global way. To begin with, we have the water-soluble, patented technology that's gentle on the skin, so it helps us with regular use. We also have germanium-based far infrared technology that activates the nitric oxide pathway. Third, we have the proprietary alpha-3 CMP marine phytoplankton that delivers almost complete nutrition. The Korean red ginseng that has been designed into the patch delivers many positive healthful effects. The medical literature bears this out. That's important to remember. The last technology is silver. Silver has been incorporated into this technology for a very important reason. It has strong antimicrobial effects. It's able to fight off infections from many bacteria, from many funguses, viruses, and even protozoa. Taken as a whole, each of these 5 amazing technologies have been thoughtfully and carefully engineered into FG Express power strips. I'm Dr. Saucedo, and I want to talk to you about Power Strips by FG Express. And in particular, I want to focus on the germanium that's been incorporated in each of the strips. The germanium produces heat, and the heat relieves pain. Now I'm going to show you a series of far infrared images that demonstrates this heat in the tissues of the body. You'll see a series of images of before and after application of a power strip to the human body. What you should observe is something very interesting. Before the power strip, you'll see images of an arm or a leg, perhaps a back. There's even an image on the face. If you look at the image beforehand, you'll see that the energy of the image looks diminished, lower. But after the power strip is applied, it's clear that the energy, the far infrared energy, coming off the individual is increased. You'll see this as a darker red. This is very important to understand. So you've seen a series of images that clearly demonstrate that there's an increase in the far infrared energy in the tissues of the body. So how does this happen? The germanium that's incorporated in the strip actually reflects far infrared energy into the tissues, which in turn causes an increase in heat. This heat relieves pain. In fact, we have a Class 1 medical device listing with the Food and Drug Administration. This is absolutely unique in the industry. In fact, in all of the reading that I've done, in all the research that I've done, I've never seen anything quite like this. Hi, I'm Dr. Saucedo. I'd like to talk to you about a very important topic that is coming up quite a bit, and that is exactly how to use and apply power strips. First of all, let me assure you that power strips are manufactured to very exacting standards. They're designed to perform very consistently, so you can count on them. They're also designed to tolerate significant shifts in both temperature and humidity that occur normally during shipping and also when they're stored in your home. First of all, what you'd like to do is prepare the skin. Now you can clean it if you like, that's not required, or apply it after bathing. That also is not required, but if you ensure that the area is free of lotions, free of cosmetics, that will allow the adhesive to adhere more readily to the skin. Now people talk and ask about whether or not power strips can get wet. Now they can get wet briefly, but if you immerse them in water for long periods of time, those natural products that are the construction materials of the power strips will begin to break down. So a little bit of water is okay, long immersion is not good. While there's no ideal or perfect way to apply a power strip, what I found works very well is if you take off the small portion of the backing first, you've chosen an area to apply it. You take the small area and apply it first and smooth it down. Reflect it back. Take the rest off as you press and pull. Then you smooth it out. And it's as easy as that. When you apply a power strip, it's important to avoid putting it over a joint. That joint is going to be moving all day long and it's going to cause peeling. So put the strip above or below the joint. Also be aware that when you're applying a power strip to an area, for example, that will be under a belt or tight pants, that there might be issues with sticking. It can peel or come off. Another very important thing to consider is the state of the skin. Avoid having oily skin. Be certain that you aren't sweating. All of these things are important to think about as you apply power strips, but once it's in place, it's good for up to 48 hours. As far as reapplying a power strip after you've taken it off, I would advise against that. It's a very difficult thing to do, and once you do it, you're going to have lost effectiveness of both the adhesive and you have lost ingredients as well. Another very important thing to consider is whether or not you can cut the power strips. The answer to that is absolutely. All of the ingredients in the power strips are distributed evenly and uniformly throughout the entire strip, so that if you cut it, you're going to get a proportionate amount of those ingredients. So go ahead and cut them and use them as you need them. This short video is to illustrate how exactly to place the power strips, but it's not a difficult process. Essentially, pick the place, take off the backing, apply it, and enjoy the pain relief that it delivers.